See, the last time we actually enjoyed democracy in Nigeria was during the time when we had a Christian as a leader of Nigeria. I think that was during the time of Obasanjo and during the time of Goodluck Jonathan. During the time of Yaradua, where the guy still tried, but when you study that guy, you discover that guy has a blend of Christianity. He was a Shia Muslim, and Shia Muslim has a blend of Christian civilization. I think that was why Obasanjo projected him in the first place, because the guy tried. He developed Gombe State. So he was a nice guy. I think after Jonathan regime, when Muslim took over the regime, since then we lost democracy. Since then we never had freedom of democracy in Nigeria again. Yes, we've experienced terrorism at its peak, killings of Christians at its peak. Why? Because Muslim religion by design forbid anything that has to do with democracy. Go and check countries around the world that are under the influence of under the influence of Islamic religion. They don't practice democracy. Africa countries, for example, Sudan, mention Algeria and the rest of them. Go and check. They don't practice democracy. And if they do, they don't differentiate between politics and religion. Their own ideology about politics is religion. So they see religion as politics, they see politics as religion. So when you see a Muslim leader is governing that country based on Islamic religion, like the way they have it in Somalia. You know, I did a video on Somalia on how UN told them that why will you be impregnating 6-7 years old girl, 10 years old girl? That is, this is forbidden. This is pedophile. And after much, the pressure was so much on Somalia government that they now pass a bill that they will stop the marriage of minor. Do you know what happened? Within 24 hours, the Muslims, Sheikh, Imam, and the rest of them, the men in the country, they staged protests against governments and they started destroying infrastructures. Within 24 hours, Somalia government reversed that bill. They reversed that law that they should continue the status quo of impregnating minor. So this is the lifestyle of Islamic religion. That is why you see that the northern part of Nigeria never developed, and they will never develop. See, the Yoruba Muslims, you are very lucky. You know why you are lucky? Because you had a Christian leader in the person of Obafemi Awolowo that introduced free education to the western part of Nigeria, where both the southern part of Nigeria and the western, benefited immensely. That is why you see that the Muslim located, in the southern and western part of Nigeria, they are not barbaric, they are not backward. They have, some levels of Christian civilization. That is why you see they don't behave like those animals that are located in the northern part of Nigeria. Ahmadu Bello had the opportunity, but he never did that. He established religion dominance in the northern part of Nigeria. But Obafemi Awolowo brought free education to his people. Now let's imagine that Obafemi Awolowo was a Muslim. That means Nigeria, both the west and the south, probably will have been 75%, Muslim country today. So we really appreciate Obafemi Awolowo for establishing, free education in the southern and western parts of Nigeria. Kudos to him. So you see, their problem is that they fail to develop themselves. That religion has fought with their sixth sense. Their sixth sense is not working normal. Look at them around the world today. They remain underdeveloped. They remain barbaric. We are talking about New York. I've made a video on New York. The Muslim guy coming as mayor, he said he's going to destroy New York. He said he's going to do this, he's going to do that. New York was developed by Christians, by Jewish. New York was developed by Israel. Now you came up because your religion never creates anything. They destroy everything. You just said you wanted to do this and that, so that the system that has been established over the years, system of prosperity, you want to destroy it overnight. That is what they do. They had all the opportunity to develop their country, but they wouldn't do that. That is why I like India and China. India actually came to the Western nations to learn, and they went back to their country to develop their country. But you see Arab Muslims, more than 1.4, 1.3 billion Arab Muslims we have in the world today, they refuse to develop. If you see any one of them going to school or going to acquire Western education, is going there to acquire the education to become a terrorist. Go and check their record. That religion is wrong with them. That is it. Look at Israel today. See, check the percentage of billionaires that run US today. Out of 100% billionaires that run US today, 50 to 60% are Jewish. Of course, yes. Who owns Facebook? Jewish. Who owns Android? Jewish. Google, Jewish. Who owns Bloomberg? Jewish. Who owns Oracle company that run the database of a lot of banks in the world? It's Jewish. Even TikTok you are using, Jewish is taking over. That platform. Jewish for you. The Hollywood empire, the Hollywood movie empire is controlled by the Jews. The Jews are the intelligence behind it. Go and read the history of Hollywood. Yet you said you must destroy the Jews, you must destroy the Christians. It has become your major objective to destroy these people. Why? Your religion forbid education, your religion forbid advancement. Anywhere you find Islam, you find underdevelopment, you find barbarism. Their ideology of life is so fucked that they cannot even see beyond their nose that this thing is wrong. Imagine, it is alleged that our vice president in Nigeria is the one that established Boko Haram. That's what they said. So this man actually went to school to create Boko Haram, a vice president. This is crazy. Why are you doing all these things? I don't understand. So for Nigeria to move forward, we must go back to Christian leadership. It's as simple. The moment you allow Muslim to continue the leadership of Nigeria, the agenda is to establish Sharia law and establish their religion to supersede every other thing.
You see, I've also said it, and it's been obvious, proving beyond reasonable doubt, that the problem of this world, most especially in Africa, is religion. And the most violent sect of this religion is Islam. The Islamic extremists. Because I cannot see a reason why the entire group terrorizing this world are all Islamic sects. And I want to believe that these people are having this advantage because the Christians or other religions choose to be docile and sleep. See, we are not in a peaceful world, so let no bagger telling me that our religion suggests peace or it preaches peace. No religion made by man preaches peace. Islam is violent, Bible preaches violence. Is it just that the people preaching Bible chooses the commercial aspect of it, the Malachi, where they can always collect tithe and offering to live a luxurious life at the detriment of their poor members, thereby making them weak and vulnerable to the aggressive Islamic extremists. Now let me tell you, Muslim, you as Islamic extremists, don't think you have the monopoly of violence. It's because the Christians choose to be docile. Because if you are Islam and you supported these Quran verses, like Quran chapter 9 verses 111, Quran chapter 9 verse 5, and so many others that preaches violence, if you support those verses and you are a terrorist, because those extremists are the terrorists we have globally, what makes you think that other religion cannot do same? No, for instance, Islam want to take over this world now by force. Only Islam is giving this world the level of trouble we have now. What if the Christian chooses to walk by Matthew chapter 10 verse 34? Just look at the Bible verses I'm displaying now. You see Matthew 10:34 there. You see Luke 19:27, and you see Numbers 31:17 to 18. You see 1 Samuel 15:3. Read those verses. They preaching the same violence like the Quran. Now the Muslim, you don't think you are the only, the Islamic terrorists, the extremists, the radical ones. So what makes you think the traditionalists, the Hindus, the Jews cannot be as violent as you are? And when you look at the world today, Islam is very radical, right? It is not as if other religions can be. Now only Islam has made the world unbearable, has made the world unsafe for humans to exist. What if the Christians now go back to their Bible and choose to ignore the Malachi that preaches only tithe, and they stop defrauding people, and they want to counter violence for violence, and they now going by the book of Matthew, Luke, Numbers, 1 Samuel, those verses that preaches violence as well? Islam, if the Christians choose to go violence, if the Jews choose to go violence, if the Hindus choose to go violence, and the traditional worshippers choose to go violence, do you think you alone can resist it? Because I can't see a situation where one religion will just be troubling this world. Una dey craze? No, wait, are you guys okay? Your Quran asks you to be taking lives that the stupid Quran, that the dirty book cannot create. And the Christian who are supposed to be, because whenever the Muslim, whenever Islam buy somebody, they tell you they buy a Christian. Because everybody believes that whoever is not a Muslim is a Christian, which is a very wrong message. There are people like us who does not believe in the bullshit. We believe in humanity, nature, science. Circumcised idiot come after somebody like me, they will call me an infidel. You that have no sense, you that dwell in the bush. We refer to somebody like me now as an infidel. Hey, no better for now. You see, you Christian, because after Christian and Muslim, these are the two dominant religions. I don't know what is wrong with you, Christian. Why would you choose to be a sheep? Of all the animals on earth, they choose to call you a sheep. An animal as dull, useless, harmless, and weak as a sheep. And that's why when the Muslim terrorist catches you, they treat you exactly like sheep, slaughter you anyhow, and you are defenseless, you are harmless. No God will defend anybody in the name of being a child of God. You know there's nothing like no God there. You get the point? So you as a Christian, you as a daddy Gio, you as a pastor, it's time you start teaching your members the right thing. Since the Quran preaches violence and the word order sees nothing wrong about it, the Bible also preaches violence. I think it's time we project those verses. Let every daddy Gio, let their members know that it's not wrong to defend yourself. If the Islam can be violent, the Christian too also have the right to be violent. Yes, I understand we now have a country where you cannot defend yourself against this terrorism, or else you'll be sentenced to death because they're already in government. But I think with the numbers, because the same government now that have been useless, or rather, are they useless or they are part of the terrorists? If the Christians now decide to pick up arms, and the traditional rulers, the Hindus, the Jews, choose to do say, everybody in this world will be running, then there will be no government to even want to intercede. You get the point now? If you are a daddy Gio, stop telling your member that Jesus Christ preaches peace. Which Jesus, which peace is that? They're slaughtering everybody. Their target is to take over the world. See, let me tell you people, if you don't know, if Islam take over Nigeria, they've taken over Africa. That is, there's no two ways about that. And if Islam take over US, like they're already penetrating US, they almost got US during Obama, because they brought in Obama. If not for this Donald Trump that is there now, they were already getting US. And when they get the United States, they have gotten the world. Take this record somewhere, because I cannot imagine a religion having a mission to take over the world, and if you finally have the world, what will you do with it? You want us to be masking. It's not as if they are not even practicing the kind of Islam Saudi Arabia practice or Qatar, because those are progressive nations. They are giving us the Afghanistan type, the type that is in Iraq, the retrogressive and dubious type. The world don't need it. So you that the Geo, you Pope, you Bishop, stop telling your members to go by the way of peace. This world is not a peaceful place. You go by the way of peace, you're being slaughtered by the man who is violent. Let all of us now, more we practice and now, let's meet madness with madness, and let's see who will run away. What sort of madness is this? If you are a radical Muslim, just know that you do not have the monopoly of this thing. And henceforth, we'll be telling the Christians and every other non-Muslim what to do. If you can obey Quran that says do and undo, then we also use the verses of the Bible that also ask us to do. You get the point now? So my people, help me share this video, because this nonsense is getting me angry. Anytime you hear somebody is being killed in Nigeria, it is a terrorist. They can be in the bush, some are even in our military, like the one that just happened in Adamawa State. Those are terrorists. They were only wearing the military camouflage. Those are terrorists. You get the point now? Enough of this. We don't have a government, we don't have a God that will solve this problem, but the people, it's up to you to defend yourself. You either defend yourself or you'll be slaughtered like a sheep. That sheep that you've been called. I'm not one. If they cannot call you a lion, they cannot refer to you as a tiger, and they choose to call you a sheep, and you are okay with it, you are as useless as what like anything useless.
Nigeria is a nation built on delicate compromises, balancing diverse histories, religions, and cultural identities. Central to this balance is the 1999 Constitution, which attempts to maintain neutrality in matters of faith. A recurring national question concerns whether the adoption and enforcement of Sharia law by several northern states violates the constitutional prohibition against adopting a state religion. Section 10 of the 1999 Constitution states without ambiguity, the government of the Federation or of a state shall not adopt any religion as state religion. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I believe this language is simple enough for any Nigerian to understand. This provision binds both the federal and state governments and is designed to preserve religious neutrality in a multi-faith society. It prohibits any government entity from elevating one faith above others in an official capacity. Beginning in 1999, several northern states, starting with Zamfara State, expanded their Sharia systems beyond personal and civil matters into criminal law. These states established Sharia courts with criminal jurisdiction, Hizbah or Sharia enforcement police, ministries and agencies dedicated to Islamic legal administration, and state-funded mechanisms to enforce Islamic moral codes. Now, these actions raised constitutional questions that remain unsettled. Northern states argue that Sharia is not the adoption of Islam as a state religion, but merely a legal system used by willing Muslims. The Constitution permits customary and religious courts alongside secular courts, as they argue, and they also say that participation in Sharia criminal justice is voluntary for Muslims. Now, whether it is truly voluntary or it is enforced anyway is a question I think we can all answer. But there are other counter-arguments from legal scholars. Legal scholars widely argue that when a state creates Sharia enforcement structures, police, ministries, criminal courts, it moves beyond accommodating religious identity and towards institutionalizing a religion, contrary to Section 10. They also argue that criminal Sharia affects public order. It affects state finances and civil liberties, making it a state action, not a private religious choice. Has the Supreme Court intervened? Well, despite multiple opportunities, the Supreme Court has never issued a definitive ruling declaring Sharia unconstitutional. This silence is widely interpreted as a political decision aimed at preserving national unity, whether we all agree or not, and it's also interpreted as a recognition of the potential unrest that might follow a contrary ruling. Legally, strong arguments exist that criminal Sharia contradicts Section 10. However, politically, Nigeria has chosen not to confront the issue directly. Does the issue of Sharia implementation amount to secession? This is a very important question. Well, Sharia implementing states have not seceded from Nigeria. They remain under the Nigerian flag, they participate fully in the federation, they receive federal allocations, they elect lawmakers to the National Assembly, and they operate under federal courts for appeals. Secession, as some argue, requires something much deeper: a declaration of independence, rejection of federal authority, or creation of a sovereign alternative state. They argue that none of these has occurred. However, the introduction of criminal Sharia does create a dual legal order, a dual order within one nation in a multicultural, multi-ethnic, and multi-religious society. Well, while it's not being interpreted as secession, it does represent a constitutional divergence, a fracture the nation has learned to manage rather than resolve. In my opinion, Section 10 clearly prohibits the adoption of a state religion. The northern Sharia systems, especially where they involve criminal law and state enforcement bodies, press against the boundaries of this prohibition and may well cross it in principle.
Good day to our viewers all over the world and welcome back to Local Journal. Honestly, I don't know why most countries or anywhere these people they detest development and everything they think about is religion. The only thing they think about is how to promote their religion, how to expand their religion. They don't care about humanity, they don't care about development, they don't care about anything whatsoever. It's not making any sense because this is annoying already. While other religion or other people are trying to do everything they can to develop the country, and these people, they benefit from the development and they enjoy from the development. They see it. It's not as if they are not awakened to it. It's not as if they don't know that these are development and it's beneficial to the country's growth. But the only thing they promote anytime they have this opportunity to come to power is religion. Regardless of whether they are in power or not, all they try to enforce on every other person is their religion. And it's not making any sense again. Look at the Sharia law. How is it faring in the north that you want to expand it to the west? And you want it to be like kind of unbanned. You don't want anything to happen to it. You want it to continue to thrive, even when you know that we are a secular country and Nigeria has many religion in it. Is this making any sense? You detest peace and you don't like peace anywhere you are. We cannot continue to stay like this and act as if all is well, because if we keep quiet, that's an acceptance, and if we accept this, of course, that's how the whole thing will continue to come back to us. Look at countries that have accepted them into that give them asylum and accepting them into their countries today. All over the world, they are suffering this singular decision and act of kindness they showed to these people. And that's why you can see that attack is going on in most of these countries today. Look at what happened recently in Australia. Look at what is happening in the UK, France. Look at what happens in America as well. This is as a result of the fact that they gave these people a chance to come into their country, and now these same people are promoting ember of violence everywhere in their country and causing mayhem, causing all sort of crises that will destabilize the country just because they want to enforce their religion on other people. They want to expand and they want to ensure they capture everything. We cannot continue to watch and to say everything as if everything is okay. We need to speak out and we need to do the right thing at the right time, because if we continue to keep quiet and we don't see anything, we will all be conquered in our own very eyes. This is my opinion. Drop what you think about this in the comment section, and if today is your first time to visit our channel, please kindly like, share and subscribe to our channel.